Welcome to ClassPoint. I'm Sarah, and today I'm thrilled to give you a warm welcome to the world of all-in-one teaching for PowerPoint. In this video, I will introduce you to everything you can achieve in PowerPoint when you're using ClassPoint. ClassPoint can enhance your presentations in three main ways, with added presentation tools, interactive quiz questions, and a gamified reward
Welcome
system.
to ClassPoint.
I'm Sarah,
now have easy
and today
access to
I'm thrilled to
everyday
give you a
teaching
warm
tools
welcome
from
to
the
the world
ClassPoint
of all-in-one
toolbar in
teaching for
presentation
PowerPoint.
mode.
Tools to add notes right on your slides, and when you run out of space, elaborate on concepts with an and use tools like a timer and a random name picker to help manage in-person activities. And lastly, you can even use an embedded browser to search the web. All of this without ever leaving PowerPoint. Continue to further engage your audience by turning your slides into interactive quiz questions. Easily add an interactive button to any slide, then during your presentation, get live responses from every participant. Use these questions for fun understanding checks, gathering feedback, practicing learning in engaging ways, and even conducting formative assessments with the auto-grading quiz mode. With 8 different types of questions, ClassPoint activities can be used in endless ways to engage your participants. But it doesn't stop there. Add gamified rewards to your presentations. Use ClassPoint's gamification features to motivate participants and encourage participation. At any time, you can award stars, remove stars, and show the leaderboard to your participants. Use stars to track your participants' progress. As they earn stars, they can unlock levels and badges and view their saved progress in the leaderboard throughout every session. Freely award stars for questions, participation, or in-person activities to spur on motivation and competition through gamification. With all these audience engagement tools, I wish you endless success in transforming your presentations and supercharging your teaching. Welcome to ClassPoint. I'm Sarah, and today I'm thrilled to give you a warm welcome to the world of all-in-one teaching for PowerPoint. In this video, I will introduce you to everything you can achieve in PowerPoint when you're using ClassPoint. ClassPoint can enhance your presentations in three main ways, with added presentation tools, interactive quiz questions, and a gamified reward system. You now have easy access to everyday teaching tools from the ClassPoint toolbar in presentation mode. You can use writing tools to add notes right on your slides, and when you run out of space, elaborate on concepts with an added whiteboard slide. More tools include the ability to drag objects around your slide to engage your audience, and use tools like a timer and a random name picker to help manage in-person activities. And lastly, you can even use an embedded browser to search the web. All of this without ever leaving PowerPoint. Continue to further engage your audience by turning your slides into interactive quiz questions. Easily add an interactive button to any slide, then during your presentation, get live responses from every participant. Use these questions for fun understanding checks, gathering feedback, practicing learning in engaging ways, and even conducting formative assessments with the auto-grading quiz mode. With 8 different types of questions, ClassPoint activities can be used in endless ways to engage your participants. But it doesn't stop there. Add gamified rewards to your presentations. Use ClassPoint's gamification features to motivate participants and encourage participation. At any time, you can award stars, remove stars, and show the leaderboard to your participants. Use stars to track your participants' progress. As they earn stars, they can unlock levels and badges and view their saved progress in the leaderboard throughout every session. Freely award stars for questions, participation, or in-person activities to spur on motivation and competition through gamification. With all these audience engagement tools, I wish you endless success in transforming your presentations and supercharging your teaching.
Hey everyone, welcome to our webinar for today. Today we're going to be having a very special ClassPoint Academy workshop where we talk about everything that you have to do in putting the power in PowerPoint, of course, with ClassPoint. But before everything else, I'd like to introduce myself. I am Bert and I'm going to be your host for today's session. Now, when we were playing the intro video, in the beginning, I'm already seeing a lot of you going into our Zoom room. I'd like to say hello to everyone joining us and taking the time to be with us today in this session. I'd also like to give a special shout out to everyone tuning in from our YouTube live stream. And if you are here, please feel free to use our webinar chat just so we know how many of you are joining us today. Now, I'd like to walk you through very quickly on our webinar agenda and what to expect. Of course, the session proper is there where we divide it into different topics that we think you're going to be enjoying as much as we do. We're also going to be giving away free ClassPoint Pro accounts during our lucky draw session. And these ClassPoint Pro accounts are 3-month ClassPoint Pro accounts. So be sure to stay with us until the end of the session so you don't miss your chance for that giveaway. We're also going to be giving you the access to your certificate of participation and opening the floor for questions and answers towards the end of the session. Right, so before the discussion proper, I'd like to also invite you to be a ClassPointer by joining our online communities on ClassPoint at Facebook and YouTube and at ClassPoint.io on Instagram and TikTok. But I want to go and kickstart the discussion already, although I think I can call on my webinar partner for today. Hi, Sarah.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. Super excited to share with you some PowerPoint tips and tricks and some more about ClassPoint.
Yay, me too. I'm so excited. And with that, I think we can go ahead and start with our first PowerPoint trick of the day. I have here slide zoom, and this is actually one of the many transitions in PowerPoint, but it's quite hidden because you can't see it in the transitions tab. It's actually in the insert tab and it's available when you are hyperlinking to other parts of your slide. So what it does is mainly giving you a space for an interactive navigation slide. And from here, you can jump from one part of your presentation to another in the form of embedded mini slides. Now, how do you do that? This is how it actually looks. If you would remember a pretty presentation, this, I think, is somewhat similar to that very animation when you kind of have your mini slides right over here, and then you go into slideshow. It would do a seamless transition from that part of your presentation and then back to your navigation slide, giving you control to which part of your presentation you would like to go to through these mini slides. And it's actually very simple to do. I'm going to show you how to do that. So first, be sure to prepare your individual info slides like I did. In here, I have 4, and I have one navigation slide, or as I'd like to call it, my main slide, where I left out spaces for my mini slides to go to. So what I would do is go to the Insert tab and go to the links dropdown. In here, you'd have your Zoom dropdown. There are different types of PowerPoint Zoom, but we're talking about slide Zoom today, so we're going to do just that. Now, I have a big deck, so it has different slides, but I'm going to go ahead and insert only the individual slides that I want to go into my main slide. Hitting insert, you can see that everything is inserted all together. You can resize that and put them into different positions that you'd like them to be at. And this is going to be where you would click on later on when you go into slideshow. Now, to give a more dynamic effect, you would have to click on one and then go to your Zoom tab. You would see here an option to return to Zoom. I would personally suggest that you tick this box because this actually lets you go back to your navigation slide by clicking on any part of your slide, just so it doesn't jump from one mini slide to another, just as you would in a regular presentation. Because if you don't have that checked out, once you enter your mini slide, say for example, this identify, it will just go jump straight right into the next one if you don't have that checkbox ticked. So if you want more control of your presentation, and if you kind of want to go and jump into one part of your presentation not in order, you can do so, just so you can have more control of whatever you're presenting live. And I think you've all been noticing that I do have a special slideshow toolbar whenever I go into presentation mode. And that is mainly because I have this special tab right on my PowerPoint ribbon called the Include ClassPoint tab. That's why whenever I go into slideshow, you'd see in here that I have added tools right at the bottom of my screen. Now we're going to be talking about all these features down the line as we go through the session, but I want to show you first what works best for a main navigation slide like this that I have in here, which happens to be a roadmap infographic. So I have annotation tools that can work right during slideshow without having to leave presentation mode. Now, I know PowerPoint already has native inking tools, like in edit mode, you could do drawing, you can do pens and highlighters, but with ClassPoint and this special slideshow toolbar, you can actually do that live in slideshow. So whenever you're presenting, it's going to be way easier for you to give visual cues during your presentation. Just like what I have here, I have a pen that I can use and customize with different colors and thickness options. Same goes with my highlighter and shapes at the same time, just so I could reinforce whatever part of the presentation that I want to reinforce. And I think one of the coolest part that is also one of my favorites would be being able to type in live text boxes right during slideshow. So whenever you have forgotten any information that you should have put during edit mode, you can do so live in slideshow as if it's just part of your presentation, which gives you more control and makes your presentation even more dynamic. One last that I'd like to share would be this guy right here. This is our laser pointer, which by trade, something that you can use to direct your audience's attention into different parts of your slide, but you can actually also drag this and turn that into a disappearing ink. And in just one click on my keyboard, I can quickly turn this into a spotlight feature that I can use to give focus to different parts of my slide. If you're presenting with students and they're getting kind of bored, this one is a sure hack to get their attention back on your screen. Now, how did I do that? I just went into the laser pointer mode and clicked on S on my keyboard. Very convenient. And now you have your own slideshow spotlight. Right. So if you would like that annotation toolbox live in slideshow, just go ahead and get started for free with ClassPoint at cp-io.com/sign up. Again, all of the annotation tools that I showed you right during slideshow are free features of ClassPoint, so I don't have to worry. If in case you're not a ClassPoint user yet, feel free to go and sign up for a free account. Right. I hope everyone's still having fun on our session. I am going to be moving forward with our second PowerPoint trick of the day, which is the infamous Morph Transition. I personally have used and abused this transition in almost every single presentation that I created, but what Morph does, for those of you who still don't know, is basically giving you a seamless transition from one part of your slide to another with the same element. And I think it's better to show you because I have here the same shape in two different slides, but with no morph transition. As you can see, it jumps if I go from slide A to slide B when it's positioned to different parts of the slide. But if you actually do use morph, this is how it would look like, together with a few images that I put in with the shapes. So as you can see, it seamlessly runs through the slides in different parts from point A to point B without that tacky animation, because it gives the seamless transition that you'd like, together with an image if you'd like to do so with your shapes. Now, I quickly want to show you how I did that. So I have here the shapes originally that I put without the morph transition. So what I would do is click on this shape and then go to format shape. The fill dropdown is right here. I'd go and click picture or texture fill and insert a image. I think I will just get one from my files. As you can see in here, I already have this picture right here. Now, once you're there and inserted your picture, you can just go ahead and go down. You'd see a text box in here for rotate with shape. By default, this is already checked, so you'd have to untick that. Basically, what that does is that when you duplicate this slide and then try to move it to another part of your presentation and you rotate that, as you can see, I'm rotating the shape, but the image is not disturbed. So what you want to do is to give that seamless transition using Morph and move that same shape into a different part of the slide so that it goes from point A to point B very smoothly and very seamlessly. Now that I had this already moved to another part of the slide and rotated to a new angle, I could just go ahead and fill that again and update that with a new picture right over here. And then as you can see, even though I already rotated the shape and I still am rotating the shape, the image is not being disturbed together with it. So very easily, I can just go ahead and give that a morph transition, and you would see that it works just as smooth as my examples. So that's just one of the many things that you could do with Morph. There actually is a lot more than this that you could do with Morph. You can go ahead and check out our YouTube and TikTok channels because we both have short video tutorials and full-length video tutorials on these PowerPoint tips, primarily with Morph because it's our favorite. So I have here another example, which is a themed PowerPoint presentation that's mainly using the Morph transition. As you can see in here, this is a familiar interface, which is Netflix. We all love Netflix. And as you can see, this has been created from scratch. And we'd like to share this to you because this is going to be a free downloadable template for you to come and use. As you are seeing, there are images and there are text boxes. All of these slide elements are completely editable and customizable for you to personalize for your next presentation. And again, this is going to be free for download. Just going to go ahead and give you that link. Right. So if you like that free Netflix PowerPoint template, just go ahead and visit cp-io.com/Netflix. We've also sent the link down on our live chat, so you can easily just click on that, or you can also take a screenshot of this slide if you want to save it for later. But once you visit cp-io.com/Netflix, it's going to be an automatic downloader that's going to be downloaded straight to your device. Again, you can freely customize this template. As you can see in here, although the elements are grouped, you can work on them as you please and update the text and the images depending on your presentation. Right. I think at this point, I can go ahead and call on my partner to take over some more tips and tricks that we have for today. Hi, Sarah.
Awesome. Thank you, Bert. Welcome, everybody. So I'm going to continue on with a couple more features. So let me just make sure everyone can see once it's loaded in. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to continue on with 3D models, which are a great addition to any slide as they can help your audience visualize in a 365-degree view of your item and provide you with a little bit more exciting visuals, kind of like this. There we go. So how to do this, I will help you guys, and we can add some 3D models right onto our slide. So to do that, on any of your slides that you would like, we will go into the Insert tab in our PowerPoint ribbon. And from there, you'll see the 3D models drop down, and we can explore PowerPoint's library of 3D models. So they have a whole bunch of categories that you can explore, or you can search up something in particular if that's what you're looking for. And once you find one that you like, you can just go ahead and insert it onto your slide. PowerPoint will take a moment to add it onto your slide, and then you're going to be able to rotate it and move it around on your slide as you would like. It's always exciting to kind of see that whole 365-degree view of your 3D model. So now that we have this planet onto our slide, we can rotate it around and place it where we would like. So we can put it down in this corner, make it a little bit bigger. And because we have some text, we're going to send this backward just one. There we go. And now to have that seamless transition, similar to what Bert was just doing before with Morph, we can duplicate this whole entire slide. And from there on that second slide, we can move our 3D model around, make sure that you rotate it so that even as it's transitioning, that seamless, smooth transition, you still get that same transition there. So then when you go into the Transitions tab in Preview, you can see how smoothly that 3D model goes, and you can see all of the rotations through there. So that is our 3D models. And next we are going to work on our merge shapes. So with merge shapes, there's 5 different ways that you can merge different shapes and text in your PowerPoint slides. So we're going to go through each one of those quickly, so that way you guys can see it in action and how to put it into practice into your presentations. So our first one is union, and this option will merge together 2 or more shapes into one brand new shape. So we can select one shape, hold down the Shift key, select your second shape, and in our shape format here, in this dropdown, this is our merge shape dropdown, we'll click union, and we can see that those 2 shapes are now combined into one. So a great way to put this into practice in your presentation is this slide here to create brand new shapes. So we had a circle and then 2 rectangles that we merged into one brand new shape and filled it with an image. So there are lots of different ways that you can kind of use these shapes to create something that maybe doesn't exist in PowerPoint already. So we do have some tips and tricks on this on our TikTok and YouTube page as well that you guys can explore to kind of get your creative juices flowing and how you can use this. But our next one is combine, which will, as it says, combine anywhere where the 2 shapes intersect. So anywhere where they don't intersect will be removed. So we can take a look at that, hold down that Shift key, and this time we'll do combine. And anywhere where they did intersect has been removed. So everything is kept but that intersection point. So a great way to use that is for different title slides. You can add in, for example, this image here, we have used combine to add some shapes together to then peek through and see an image in the background. So our next one is intersect, which will create a new shape by removing the parts where the 2 shapes do not intersect, so that you're only left with that overlapping piece. So kind of the opposite of combine there. So when we hold down both of those and go into our shape format, this time select intersect, you'll see that we just have that intersection point here. So a really fun way to do this is with a moving background and your text. So as you can see here, this text looks like it's filled with a video, and we can actually do this with this merge shapes. So I'll show you guys how to do that really quickly. So on this slide, we have a background that's a video, full screen, and then we can go ahead and add some text. And we'll want to make sure that that text is nice and big. So let me select all of it here. And we can change the font to be a nice thick font. That way we'll be able to see the video. We can adjust. And place it where you would like on your slide. And from there, we're first going to select the video. So make sure it is important which shapes you are selecting first. So make sure for this example, we click the video first, hold down the Shift key, select our text. And this time we are going to go into this Tell Me section here. You can type in merge shapes. There we go. And you'll be able to do that drop down and do our intersection. So that way you can see that we now have our text and the video as our background there. All right, moving right along to subtract. This one is pretty clear. It will just subtract one shape out of the other where they overlap. So that second shape you select will be subtracted from the first. So just like intersect, it is important which shape you're selecting first. So when you go into the shape format, we can click on subtract, and you'll see now we're just left with that first shape minus where that second shape overlapped. So a fun way to do this one is, again, with our Morph Transition, adding in a bit of a window onto our slide. And we do have a video specifically on this slide in this example on TikTok. So if you guys want to take a look at how to do that, but we just have a nice subtraction of a shape, a nice cutout, so that way you can see that transition as you go through. And now for our last option of merging shapes is fragment. So fragment will actually chop our shapes into multiple shapes depending on where they intersect. So let me show you guys what that looks like. So with our fragment here, we have now split those shapes into 3 separate shapes based on all of those intersection points. So this one has so many use cases to create new complex shapes or to create fun activities like creating a little puzzle. So for an example here, if we want to, we can insert a square over top of this. That way we can start creating some puzzle pieces. So again, I will select this background one first and then our shape. And in our shape format, I will click fragment. And you guys see that I now have a piece of this picture broken up into a square to start creating a puzzle. So you can also make this into an interactive activity with your students, like I have on this slide here. So this slide has all of the pieces broken up into a puzzle. And to make this interactive with your students, we can actually use the ClassPoint's Dragable Objects feature. So this way, when you're in your PowerPoint presentation, you can move these squares around your slide right live during your presentation. So to activate this, we're going to select all of the squares that we want to be draggable. And in our ClassPoint tab in the More features, we'll click Dragable Objects, and we are going to toggle them on to be drag enabled. So that way, when we go into our PowerPoint presentation, we can click on the Dragable Objects icon on our toolbar, and you'll be able to see a quick highlight of all of the shapes that are drag enabled. So once that's done, then you can call on any participants to come up to the board to move around these shapes, or call on anyone to help you and tell you where they need to go. So that is just one use case of using the fragment feature of PowerPoint combined with a ClassPoint feature. So that wraps up all of our PowerPoint tips and tricks. So now I want to move on to some of the ClassPoint features that you can use to continue making your PowerPoint presentations more engaging. So we're going to continue on with our draggable objects, which allow you to kind of move any shape, text, or image around on your slide. So there's lots of different use cases for this, similar to what we just showed. So you can use it for sorting different objects and different activities. You could also use it for labeling activities like this one. And you can use it for matching. So there are plenty of different ways that you guys can use the draggable objects to have different fun activities in your class. And the last one we have here is also to reveal, which can also be used with a lot of other ClassPoint features. So let's say we want to give our participants, let's say 15 seconds to think what is behind these 2 other question mark circles. Once the timer goes off, it will stop automatically. We can close that, and we can use our wheel of names to call on a participant to tell us what they think is behind each one of those circled question mark boxes. So we can have Ida go ahead and tell us, and then we can reveal as they go through. Then we can open this back up and award her a star. So that is one way that you can use multiple ClassPoint presentation tools for different activities in your PowerPoint presentation. The next feature I want to cover is the AI quiz generator to add some more interaction and get live responses from your audience. So I have this informational slide here that kind of has a different activity, but let's say I want to do a quick check and interact with my audience. I can open up the ClassPoint AI feature to analyze the slide and generate a question for me. That way I don't have to do it. So before we generate a question, I will open up my options so that way we can select which question type we want. For this example, let's do all three, and then you can also select which level of Bloom's taxonomy that you want the question to be based on, as well as changing the question language if needed. So once all of your options are set, we can generate a question. ClassPoint AI will analyze your slide and generate a question for you. You can always go ahead and check the answer, make sure it looks good, and then we can save it as a slide in our presentation, or we can go ahead and generate another option. So let's go through, let's see if we can get one more. Awesome, that is a short answer question. So let's save this one as a slide as well. And now I will take the time to invite you all to join our class. That way we can submit some live responses. So I'm going to change to a public class here. And using your guys' devices, you can scan the QR code, or you can open up any browser and go to ClassPoint.app and use this class code to join the class. So we'll give it a couple moments for everyone to join, and then we can get started. Awesome. So as your participants are joining, you're able to see all of the names and stars and if they're active or not. So there's a couple different ClassPoint class options. We have the public classes and saved classes that you guys can use to track your participants' progress if you like that option as well. So even if I close this window, you guys are all still welcome to join. So again, ClassPoint.app on your device with the class code 31719. And then you can use your name. But for now, let's go with this multiple choice answer. And when I click on the button, you'll be able to start receiving those live responses. And on your guys' device, you should see the A, B, C, D options for the question. So that way you guys can go ahead and submit. This can also be minimized. That way you can show the whole question slide. I can also go back so I can show you guys the exercise. That way you can read through and get the correct answer. All right. Almost everyone has submitted. So when you want to open it back up, just click again on that button. And when everyone has submitted, you can close the submission and review these answers by showing the correct answer and awarding stars to all of those who have participated. Excellent job. All right, that is an example of a short answer question, but we're going to go ahead and go through some more. So ClassPoint does have up to 8 different quiz question types. So we did a multiple choice, but there are plenty of others that you guys can use to explore when you sign up for free at cp.io.com/signup. And now to go through some of the newest ClassPoint features that have been released. Is first we have our ready-made quiz templates. So along with all of those 8 different quiz question types I just mentioned, if you're struggling to find different ways to interact with your audience, you can always go ahead and take a look at the quiz ideas feature that is right on your ClassPoint tab. And from there, you'll be able to see that we have a section for each one of our question types. You guys can scroll through and get design ideas or question ideas to insert right into your PowerPoint presentation. That way it's easily editable and can be used for any of your presentations. And that is located right on the toolbar for easy access, and all accounts have access to that. Another new feature that we have is the ClassPoint Web App. So this web app, I will show you guys with our embedded browser, is one place that you guys can review all of your ClassPoint classes and analytics and reports and responses from your students. So if you just go to app.classpoint.io, there we go. You can sign in with your regular ClassPoint account, possibly. There we go. And you can see information on all of your classes, as well as different reports for your classes. You can view all of the activities that you did in each class. And this just gives you one place to view all of these responses instead of opening up each and every PowerPoint file. Another new feature is the grouping feature. So when you have all of your participants in a class, you can group them. That way they can compete as a team instead of just individually with the awarding stars and different things like that. So with grouping, you can select your groups manually and separate your participants, or you can do automatic and ClassPoint can separate your class for you. And lastly, on your guys' devices, when you're logged into the ClassPoint class, you should be able to see that there's a Q&A option at the bottom. So this is actually a place for students to submit questions, and teachers can take a look at questions that anyone submitted with the Q&A option on the toolbar. So as students submit, they can also like or thumbs up any other questions that they see from another student to indicate that they also have that question or want it to be answered. And teachers can open it up right here in PowerPoint. That way there's no other back and forth with different chats. That way they can see questions as they come in here. So now that we've gone through some of those newest features, let's talk about the different plan options that you all have if you want to sign up and use ClassPoint. So of course we have our forever free option. So you guys can always use that to try out ClassPoint and begin using, which has a max of 25 and 5 questions per PowerPoint file. So if that is a little bit too limiting, you can always upgrade to the Pro option. So that will give you that bigger class size, more AI credits, and unlimited quiz questions per PowerPoint, along with all of these other features. And then our last plan that we have is our premium plan. So this is only for organizational purchase. So if you're looking to use these features, you can have your school begin to use ClassPoint. And some of those features that are in premium is unlimited AI quiz credits and a much bigger class size, along with the grouping and the live QA features that we just covered as well. And then there's also the option for custom branding for your school and a lifetime of class reports that we took a look at in the ClassPoint Web App. So if you're interested in learning more about the ClassPoint Premium Plan, you can reach out to us at classpoint.io/contact/sales, and we can give you more information and let you know about some trial options there as well. Or you can get started for free, again, at cp-io.com/signup. And now I will pass it back to Bert to take over with the lucky draw.
All right. Thank you so much, Sarah, for that very wonderful sharing. I hope everyone's still having fun and everyone's still with us at this point of the webinar, because I think this is one of the most exciting parts of our session, where we draw names for our giveaway of the 3-month ClassPoint Pro accounts. Now, what I want you to do is to please join my class. I know you've joined Sarah's class, but you can just go ahead and leave that class, or Sarah can just restart that for you. So you can go ahead and enter 57585. Although we do encourage you to please use your full name, just so it's easier for us to verify your entry and your name and your profile once you get to be picked during our lucky draw. If you have already joined not using your full name, you can always rejoin, because unfortunately we can't honor those who don't have their full names as their profile. So please do join using your full names. Again, the class code is 57585. To those tuned in via YouTube, I know that the Zoom frame is somewhat covering the class code right up top. So again, the class code is 57585. You can use any of your devices. You can use your phone, go through your phone's browser and enter classpoint.app, or you can simply scan this QR code so you can go straight into our class. Right, so we're seeing one joining with our class code 57585. Whoever is 57585, you can go ahead and rejoin using your full name. Just in case you get picked, we wouldn't know. Right. I think while we're waiting for others to join, I can go ahead and spin the wheel for our first winner. How's that sound? Everyone ready? Okay, someone's requesting for the QR code to be shown. Okay, here's the QR code. So there are two ways that you can join this class, either via ClassPoint app manually, putting in the class code 57585, or scanning this QR code to go and join. Again, please do use your full name just so during our lucky draw, we're not going to be having a hard time trying to verify your profiles once you get picked. Right. Okay, we have 15 people in. I think, again, I can go ahead and spin this wheel for our first winner. Oh no, Annie, whoever is Annie, I'm so sorry because we need to have someone with the full name. You can go ahead and rejoin again. Maybe this time around you can be picked again. That's an incredible amount of luck if you do. Join the class again with your full name, and then as I spin this wheel, I hope Beth Cole. I'm so sorry. I don't know how if I'm reading this right, but Beth, congratulations. You just won a free 3-month ClassPoint Pro account. How you could be able to claim that, we will share in a few moments. I'm just going to go ahead and change this to card view. This is another mode of our name picker because you can switch from a wheel of names and a deck of emoji cards. I have here your deck of emoji cards that once I go flip, there will be a name reveal just like Beth's in here. Sarah, do you have any specific card that you want us to open from this deck?
Let's do the pizza on the very bottom.
Let's do the pizza, this one, right? All right. We have David Castaneda. Congratulations, David. You just won a free 3-month ClassPoint Pro. Although I am seeing Beth's chat through our live webinar chat, she says, I already have Pro, so I don't need this prize. Can you spin again? Okay, Beth is giving away her ClassPoint Pro account. Let's go ahead and spin another. For another winner of Pro. We have Zahid Hossein. Congratulations for winning 3-month ClassPoint Pro account. And since we have 3 winners for today and Beth withdrew her entry, I think we can go ahead and pick another one using the auto pick feature. This one is actually another mode in the name picker feature where you can pick names in bulk, and you can actually do so in picking up to 10 names. But since we're only left with 1 winner, we can go ahead and just pick 1 right here. We have Annie M. Tabago. Oh, I think this is the same Annie that was chosen. Wow, that's an insane amount of luck today, Annie. Congratulations. You won a free 3-month ClassPoint Pro account. Again, to Beth, David, and Annie, congratulations. You can go ahead and send us a message at sarah@classpoint.io. That's my partner. And we're going to be sending you the key code that you can apply onto your account, as well as the steps that go with it, so you can activate that right away. Again, please do send us an email at sarah@classpoint.io so we can send you over your details as well as the steps on how you could activate that. Right. And another thing that I think most of you are waiting for would be the link to our certificate. You can go ahead and visit cp-io.com/powercert. This is where you can get your ClassPoint Academy Workshop certificate. But as you are visiting this link, I'm just going to go ahead and show you how that works. Let's go and visit cp-io.com/powercert. Right from here, you're going to be asked to of course, first start the form. You're going to be asked if you have a ClassPoint account or not. If you don't have a ClassPoint account just yet, please do so by going to our sign up page at cp-io.com/signup. It's very easy. If you still don't have an account, you can quickly create yours with Google or your Microsoft account or your email manually. Now, once you've already signed up for a ClassPoint account, then you'd be able to go ahead and finish this form, because if you click on no and you click on next, it's not going to go ahead and continue. So once you already have your account, just click on yes. And there's going to be like a couple of questions, only a couple of questions that you can answer in a little less than a minute. And then just click on next and submit your answers. Once that's done, your certificate will be sent to your specified email address right away. We encourage all of you to please take a screenshot maybe, or share your certificates over on social media and tag us so that we know who to say hi to and say thanks for joining us to this session. Again, your certificate link is at cp-io.com/powercert. We also sent that link over to our live chat, so it'd be easier for you to just click on it. All right, I think we are now going to be able to open the floor for some questions and any concerns that you have in regards to the presentation that we just had. But since we do have the Q&A feature right inside ClassPoint, I think I can go ahead and use this. To all of you still joined in the class, you would be able to see a Q&A button right at the bottom of your screens. Just go ahead and click on that and type in any questions that you may have that Sarah and I can answer. But I think while we're waiting for the questions to come in, Sarah, how are you feeling about the webinar?
Great. It was so much fun to have everyone here and share some PowerPoint tips, along with some ClassPoint ones. Always fun to kind of include some other options to make any of your guys' presentations a little bit more exciting, as some of the PowerPoint features can be a little bit overwhelming. So Bert does a great job of breaking them down for us.
And you too. And Sarah, I have been seeing a lot of them joining from different time zones, really. We have someone from Lebanon, Pakistan, England, and also from the Philippines. We're so happy to have all of you here, even with time zone differences. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Yeah, of course. It is great to see so many people from all over. And Marilyn, we will have the recording be available on our YouTube page. So you can always go head over there and take a look.
Right. So I think we have a couple of questions already popping up on our screen. One from Lukman Khan. Always the font problem overlapping on client page, but my file on my own laptop showing all the thing well. Lukman, do you mean client page as the participant app? If that is what you mean, there are some times where your PowerPoint font are so customized that the ClassPoint app as a slide viewer tool would not be able to recognize. But again, we are working on that. If you do encounter that problem quite frequently, you can go ahead and send us a screenshot of what you're seeing on your participant app, just so we know whether that could be troubleshooted or not.
Yes, yeah, great. It does happen more infrequently, but if it does keep happening, please send us an email at support@inkno.com. I'll put it in the chat, and you can pass it over and we can take a look. What else do we have? Oh, the sound and the music not coming on. Bert, do you have any questions? Sometimes there is the toggle for the music icon when you're running a question to turn it off or turn it on. So just ensure that you have the right toggle on. And then also, depending if you're doing live streaming or not, sometimes you might not be sharing the sound. So you'd have to make sure that you're sharing sound for your audience to be able to hear the music as well.
Yeah, and also to add to that, during your live streaming, the sound will be coming off on your side as the presenter, but not on the participant app, because again, the participant app is purely a slide viewer tool. So the sound or music will should be coming from your end as the presenter.
Great.
We have another
You
question
want to go
from
ahead?
Oh,
Go ahead.
okay. Is Q&A always available to the students all throughout the PPT? As long as you have this toggle on, then it will be available for all your students, but you can always turn this back off if you don't want the Q&A enabled during your presentation. I hope that answers your question.
We also have, sorry to interrupt, a question from the chat as well that ClassPoint application goes a little bit slow when it's logged into the PowerPoint goes slow with ClassPoint active, and if we have any tips for that. So we do have a couple. I would say definitely make sure your PowerPoint is being restarted frequently, so that way ClassPoint is up to date as well. But if it does go super slow, again, you can email us at support@inkno.com, so that way we can take a look. Bert, do you have any others tips there?
Yeah, I think the best route is because we have to go in depth together with our team of engineers. So it would be best to send us an email over at support@inkno.com and maybe have some supporting documents in there just for us to easily see what the issue is really about. I think, Sarah, we have a concern here, more of a concern here from David. I have pro already. This is David Castaneda. He can't
Yes.
get one more youth winner. All
Perfect.
right. Perfect.
Thanks, David.
Thank you, David and Beth, for giving away your pro accounts. I think we can go ahead and spin the wheel one last time for one last winner. I hope you are all still with us. Lindy Kopp. Lindy, if you're still here, please say hi to our live chat. We're going to be revising our list of winners and showing this as well to our post-webinar highlights we posted over on Facebook. And again, Lindy, if you're still here, please do send us a message and email at sarah@classpoint.io so you can claim your free 3-month ClassPoint Pro account. Is Lindy still here?
Not sure. Let's check.
Not sure. Yeah. Okay, we have one question as well from Kodor. The certificate will be for all those who signed up. Yes, Kodor. So it's very easy. You can just go ahead and go to cp-io.com/sign up. Once you're done, you will then be able to go ahead and submit your answers to the form so you'd have your certificate of participation.
Perfect.
Go to this. We have one from Dave.
Dragable, not drawable. Yes. So, oh wait. Okay, why do I have to use view mode for draggable objects? So the specific view mode for draggable objects, if you mean to click on the draggable objects, just helps with PowerPoint, because otherwise if you click on your slide, PowerPoint will automatically, push you to the next slide. So clicking and making sure that you're on that draggable objects feature enables you to kind of move those objects freely around your slide and not have any trouble with ClassPoint there.
Right. Okay.
I hope that answered your question, David. Or Dave, sorry. So let us know if it didn't.
Yes. Right. Okay. I'm just gonna have those answered. Oh, we have one from Annie. When using the drag tool, my students can drag the objects. Even I set the object draggable. So Annie, if you are talking about your students accessing from the participant app, they really are not gonna be able to drag the objects on your slide, because again, draggable objects is purely a presenter tool. So if you want your students to be involved in your drag and drop activity, it is best to have this in face-to-face classes whenever you're having offline classes. This way, your students can go ahead and go up with you up front with your device and do the drag and drop activity right from your device that you're using to present. And I think one last question, Sarah, can you answer this? Will ClassPoint ever be available on Mac?
So right now our team is investigating how it can be possible, because there are some restrictions on the PowerPoint side, but we are working on something that will be cross-platform. So we'll keep everybody updated on there, because we do know that Mac and iOS is #1 requested. So we're working on it. the next question for the Dragable Objects in presentation mode. Dave, we can, if you, I would probably email support. They're usually pretty good at getting back just because there might be some issues that would need to be investigated more so. But if you have like a screenshot or can take a recording, that would be best to show them so that they can take a look. Or yes, as long as you go through the steps of making the objects draggable first and clicking on the right one on the toolbar, then we can help investigate why it might not be working for you.
Right. I think that's the last of the questions that we have on the Q&A. I think
Do we want to, if Lindy didn't answer, should we pick one more person?
Oh, right.
One last time.
One last time. Maybe we can. Yeah, is Lindy here? One last
I
call for
didn't
Lindy?
see anything in the
No?
chat. Yeah.
No. That's unfortunate. I think we can still spin the wheel one last time. This is exciting. We've extended so much. Right. Okay, let's just spin the wheel one more time. Is Edgar Cruz in the room with us? Edgar?
If
We're doing
not,
this
I
in the last
guess
minute.
we'll just have to leave it. But thank you all for sticking around so long with us, and hopefully we answered all your questions.
Oh, Edgar is here. I'm so sorry to cut you off, but Edgar is here and Edgar already has a subscription. So do we spin again?
I say, why not?
Spin it one more time, Kodo says. Okay. Okay.
Yay!
Yay. Kodo won. Yay.
Awesome.
Congratulations. You won free 3-month ClassPoint Pro account. You know where to send an email to. Just send again an email to sarah@classpoint.io so we can send you your prize and the steps on how you can activate that. Sarah, do you have any messages to all of our viewers for tonight? Today?
No more, I think. Okay. Oh, there. Sorry, David. Let me take a look at this. But thank you guys all so much for joining. It has been such a pleasure, and I hope that we'll see you again in another webinar.
Right. It is so fun being with you guys. I think this is rather an interactive, very interactive session, and I hope you had some tips and tricks that you carry on with you after this session. And again, this has been ClassPoint. I am Bert, and it has been Sarah. We thank you for joining us, even though there are time zone difference between us, and we hope to see you on our next one.